Hello viewers, welcome to my channel Learn with Ravi. In this session we will learn the concept of equations. So let's begin the story of equation, a small question. What is an equation? An equation is an expression equated to a value that can be zero, that can be non-zero value, or it can be a variable. So, and what is an expression? An expression is formed by interrelating variables and constants by using arithmetic operators. For example, when I say 2x plus 3y minus 4z is equal to 5, in this case, x, y, z are called as variables, 2, 3, 4 are called as constants, and I am interrelating x, y, z with 2, 3, 4 using into, plus, minus. And now this 2x plus 3y minus 4z is called as expression. I am equating this expression to a value called as 5. So hence it becomes an equation. So this is how we get equations. So I repeat the statement. An expression equated to a value or a variable is an equation. Clear with that? Now going ahead, let us learn about the concept called as degree. Now what is degree? In an equation you have set of variables and those variables will have exponents. So the highest exponent of a variable in an equation is called its degree. Now let us see some examples. The examples goes like this. For example, I got x cube plus x square minus x plus 6 is 0. So you find the exponent of x as 3, 2, 1. Now the highest power is 3, hence the degree is 3. In the next equation we have seen x square minus x plus 6 is 0. The highest power is 2, hence degree is 2. Now I got 2x plus 6 is 0. The highest power is 1, hence degree is 1. So we got degree 3, degree 2, degree 1. Now we have learned this concept degree because based on the degree we classify equations. So let us start with the concept of simple equations. So an equation of degree 1 is called as simple equation. So x minus 4 is 12, 2x plus 3y is 5, 5p minus 7q plus 11r is 13. So in all the three equations, the highest power of the variables used is only 1. Hence this is called as simple equation. Simple equation is also called as linear equation because geometrically we represent a straight line by using this simple equation. If you can recall in mathematics, you represent a straight line as the form ax plus by plus c is equal to 0. Yes or no? So this is how we talk about the concept of equations. And in the story of equations we have a word called as consistency because this consistency word gives us the number of solutions for equation. If you are given an equation or set of equations, then we conclude that they will give us a unique solution or they will give us an infinite set of solutions based on the consistency part. So consistency means the availability of unique or infinite solutions for a system of equations. Clear? Now based on the consistency we classify the set of equations into the following categories, like set of equations where we have unique solution and they are called as consistent and independent set of equations. Set of equations where we have infinite or multiple solutions, we call them as consistent and dependent set of equations. And we have set of equations where there is no solution and they are called as inconsistent system of equations. So we classified the equations based on the solutions we obtained and they are called as consistent and independent, consistent and dependent, inconsistent. Now we speak about this consistency and inconsistency for a given set of equations depending on the coefficients of the variables used. Now let me start with the small example. The example goes like this. I want to find the value of x in x minus 4 is 12. So I get x is 12 plus 4 is 16. So 16 is the only value that can satisfy the equation. Similarly, when you have an equation like 2x minus 4y is 12, solving for x you get the value of x as 8. So it indicates that 8 is the only value of x that can satisfy or that can fit into that equation 2x minus 4 is 12. Similarly, when you have two equations with two variables given like 2x plus 3y is 5 and 3x minus 2y is 1, as you got two equations with two variables, we have many methods of solving them. One method is minimizing the variables. So you got the coefficient of x as 2 and the coefficient of x as 3. So we multiply by 3 in the first equation and we multiply by 2 in the second equation and you solve it to get the value of x and y as x is 1 and y is 1. So in all the three cases, you observe that you got a single solution for the variables found. So these are called to be unique set of solutions for a given equation or set of equations. Now let me start with the first category, consistent and independent system of equations. I have a1x plus b1y is d1 and a2x plus b2y is d2. Now I say that these set of equations are consistent and independent by checking the ratio of the coefficients. Like I take a1 upon a2, I take b1 upon b2 and I compare them. If they are not equal, then I say that they are independent set of equations and they have unique solution. Now take an example like 2a plus 3b is 5, 3a minus 2b is 1. Take the coefficient of take the ratio of coefficients, you get 2 upon 3, 3 upon 2. As they are not equal, you solve them and to get the value of a is 1 and b is 1. So a set of equations which are consistent and independent will result in unique solutions only. Going ahead, you have a case of consistent and dependent system of equations where you have a1x plus b1y is d1, a2x plus b2y is d1. Again we check here a1 upon a2, b1 upon b2, d1 upon d2. By chance, if all these ratios are equal, like a1 upon a2 is same as b1 upon b2 is same as d1 upon d2, then we call them as consistent and dependent set of equations and they have infinite set of solutions or multiple solutions. Take an example, 8x minus 4y is 24, 12x minus 6y is 36. I take the ratio of coefficients 8 upon 12, 4 upon 6, 24 upon 36. In all the three cases I get 2 upon 3. So it indicates that all the ratios are equal. Hence, the given set of equations are consistent and dependent. Hence, they have infinite solutions like 4, 2, 3, 0, 8, 10 and so on. So, though we have two equations and two variables, we have a possibility of getting multiple solutions. Clear with that? Now going ahead, let us see a case of inconsistent set of equations. If I have a1x plus a2y is d1 and a2x plus b2y is d2, now I compare the ratio of the coefficients like a1 upon a2, b1 upon b2, d1 upon d2. If a1 upon a2 is same as b1 upon b2 and if that is not equal to d1 upon d2, then we say that the equations are inconsistent and we have no solution. Now for example, let us take as 8x minus 4y is 20, 12x minus 6y is 36. Take the ratio of coefficients 8 upon 12, 4 upon 6, 20 upon 36. 8 upon 12 is same as 4 upon 6, but this is not same as 20 upon 36. Hence, the set of equations are inconsistent and we have no solution. Clear with that? So going ahead with small examples. The first question, a sum of rupees 1420 is to be distributed among 7 men, 11 women and 10 boys such that each woman gets thrice the amount of a boy gets and the share of a man is equal to the share of woman and a boy shares put together. Now you should find the share of a man. Now what is given to us? You need to divide 1420 among 7 men, 11 women, 10 boys. So 7 men plus 11 women plus 12 boys is 1420. And what is given to us? It is given to us that one woman share is same as the share of 3 boys and the share of one man is same as the share of one woman and one boy put together. Now substituting the values, you get one man is 4 boys. Now converting the equation into single variable, you get the story as 7 into 4 boys plus 11 into 3 boys plus 10 boys is 1420. 71 boys is 1420. One boy is 20. If one boy is 20, as one woman is 3 times one boy, one woman is 60. So one boy is 20, one woman is 60. So obviously the share of man will be one woman plus one boy, that is 60 plus 20 is 80. There are few monkeys on two trees T1 and T2. If two monkeys jump from T1 to T2, then the number of monkeys on both the trees are equal. And if two monkeys jump from T2 to T1, then the number of monkeys on T1 are twice the number of monkeys on T2. So find the initial count of monkeys on T1 and T2. So no number is given here. Now the first story says, let the initial count of monkeys are x and y on T1, T2. Now the first line is important. It says if two monkeys jump from T1 to T2. So if there are x monkeys on T1, if two monkeys move from T1 to T2, it means that we should reduce two monkeys here. So it becomes x minus 2. Now these two monkeys shifted to T2, so the count on T2 will increase by 2. So reduce 2 here, add 2 here, then check the count. He said that the count on T1 T2 are equal. So you get x minus 2 is same as y plus 2. So I am reducing two monkeys on T1 and I am adding two monkeys on T2. Now line 2 says if two monkeys jump from T2 to T1, it means that y minus 2 and x plus 2, isn't it? Two monkeys moved from T2, so it is y minus 2, and these two joined with T1, so it is y minus 2 and x plus 2. Now he says the count of monkeys on T1 is twice the count of monkeys on T2. So it says that x minus 2 is 2 times the count of y minus 2, isn't it? Now once you frame the equations, solving is again simple. You get x equal to y plus 4 from equation 1. Now plug in that x value in equation 2 and solve for y. You get the value of y as 10. When y is 10, x is 10 plus 4 as 14. So going to the next story, you get the concept as in 5 hours Pawan can walk 4 miles more than what Ravi can walk in 8 hours. So Pawan is walking 4 miles more than what Ravi can walk in 8 hours. And line 2 says in 7 hours Ravi can walk 2 miles more than what Pawan can walk in 3 hours. So it's all about distance, right? Now question is find the speeds of Pawan and Ravi. So we know that let the speeds of Pawan is p and Ravi is r, and we know the distance is speed into time or time into speed. Now frame the equation. First line says in 5 hours Pawan can walk 4 miles. So distance traveled by Pawan is 5p. Clear? He says 4 miles more than what Ravi can walk in 8 hours. So 5p is 8 hour plus 4. 5 is the time, p is the speed, 5p is the distance traveled by Pawan. R is the speed of Ravi, 8 is the time taken by Ravi. So 8 r is distance of Ravi. So 5p is 8 r plus 4. Similarly, we get 7 r is equals to 3p plus 2. Now solving them, and we multiply equation 1 with 7, equation 2 with 8, and solving for p and r, you get p is 4 and r is 2. So this is how we solve the values of p and r. In this problem, you have 5 burgers, 6 pizzas, 7 cokes, cost around rupees 1780. 5 burgers, 6 pizzas, 7 cokes cost rupees 1780. 6 burgers, 4 pizzas and 2 cokes cost rupees 1240. Clear? Now he wants you to find the cost of 1 burger, 1 pizza and 1 coke. So what is given to us? So 5b plus 6p plus 7c is 1780. So 6b plus 4p plus 2c is 1240. Yes or no? Now you are given two equations with 3 variables. So solving the values of burger, pizza, coke individually is not possible, isn't it? But what can we do when you cannot calculate individually? We have a case where we can solve them together by adding them or subtracting them. Now I multiply the first equation with 2. That is 2 times 5b plus 6p plus 7c is 1780, and I add that with the second equation. So 2 into 5 is 10, 10 plus 6 is 16. 16 burgers plus 16 pizzas plus 16 cokes is 4800. Taking out 16 common, you get 1 burger plus 1 pizza plus 1 coke is 4800 by 16, that is 300. So though you cannot find out the value of each object individually, there are few cases where you can calculate their sum as a whole. The case where the cost of 4 pens, 8 sharpeners, 9 erasers is rupees 136, and the cost of 3 pens, 6 sharpeners, 7 erasers is rupees 104. Now find the cost of 1 eraser. Now framing the equation, you get 4p plus 8s plus 9e is 136, 3p plus 6s plus 7e is 104. Now the question is, you need to calculate the value of e. Is it really possible? You are given two equations and you are given 3 variables. Now from those, he is asking us the value of one variable value. So for these kind of cases, we look for a possibility. Like if a1x plus b1y plus c1z is d1 and a2x plus b2y plus c2z is d2. To find x, b1 upon b2 should be same as c1 upon c2. To To find y, a1 upon a2 should be equal to c1 upon c2, and to find z, a1 upon a2 should be equal to b1 upon b2. If these conditions are satisfied, then you can find that variable value. Now coming back to the question, he is asking us to find the value of e. To find the value of e, check if a1 upon a2 is same as b1 upon b2, that is 4 upon 3 is same as 8 upon 6. As they are equal, now you can find the value. So multiplying equation 1 with 3, equation 2 with 4, multiplying and subtracting, you get the value of e as 8. So this is a case where we can find the value of a variable though the number of variables are less than the number of equations. Is it fine? So going ahead. A number when increased by 2/3 of itself, it becomes a perfect square. Perfect square. If the difference between the number and the perfect square is same as the difference between the number and the square root of the perfect square, then what is the number? So read the statements carefully. I begin with assuming the value as x. Now the first line says if a number is increased by 2/3 of itself, so I get x plus 2/3 of x, I get 5/3 of x. Now he gave us that this obtained value is a perfect square, so 5 by 3x is a perfect square. Now line 2 says the difference of the number and the perfect square. Remember, difference will always result in a positive value. So common sense says 5 by 3x will be more than x, isn't it? So 5 by 3x minus x is same as x minus the square root of 5 by 3x. Play with that. That is what he gave us. Now shuffling the value of x and performing subtraction, you get minus x by 3 is minus 5 by 3x whole power 1 by 2. Minimizing the minus value, taking the square root on both sides, you get x square by 9 is same as 5 by 3x. The value of x is 15. So if you have doubts, just use some common sense. Now what the first line says, if a number is increased by 2/3 of itself. So 2 by 3rd of 15 is 10. 15 plus 10 is 25. So 25 is a perfect square. Yes or no? Yes. The first line is satisfied. Line 2 is difference of the number and the perfect square is same as difference of the number and the square root of the perfect square. So 25 minus 15 is 10. 15 minus square root of 25 is 5. So 15 minus 5 is 10. So 10 is 10. So this is how you can cross check the values also. Is that clear to you all? So in this question, he says the sum of 4 times the salary of Arvind, 3 times the salary of Bala, and 2 times the salary of Charan is 1.8 lakh. And if 5 times the salary of Bala and Charan together and 7 times the salary of Arvind sum up to some value, then find the salary of Arvind and Bala together is how much more than that of Charan. So read the first line. So let us assume the salaries of Arvind, Bala and Charan as ABC. In the first line he gave us that 4A plus 3B plus 2C is 1.8 lakh and 7A plus 5 times B plus C is 2.6 lakh, isn't it? Now what we do, you should find the value of A plus B, and to get the answer A plus B is how much more than C. So you cannot find the values of A, B, C individually because you are having 2 equations and 3 variables, but there are some possibilities, so don't give up. So multiplying equation 1 with 2 and subtracting second equation on the obtained value, you get the value of A plus B minus C is 1 lakh. So A plus B is C plus 1 lakh. Now the question is, A plus B indicates the salary of Arvind and Bala. The salary of Arvind and Bala is 1 lakh more than Charan. So please do not jump to conclusions in equations. In the concept of equations, though you cannot find the values of each term individually, there are some possibilities where you can jump to conclusions. Play with that. So put your thoughts in the comment section and I will be always ready to share my thoughts. Fine with that? So do not forget to like, share, comment and subscribe. Thank you.